It's about your identity and your name is so important. And I know we're gonna talk about entrepreneurial stuff, but being able to claim that space is like your own your own right. But I know that especially having a lot of diversity, like your name is different, my name is different, we kind of shrink. I remember when I was in high school and college, I would introduce myself to, and I'll just be frank, I would introduce myself to the white people and say, oh, you can call me Key, because they say, what's your name? And I go, I'm Quierra, but you can call me Key. Everyone calls me Key. And it stuck so much that I still have people from high school and college that just call me Key, and I never corrected them. But it was because I was kind of too shy and embarrassed to actually break my name down and reinforce those types of things.
It's my first name was easy, but as I said, people would decide, and they still do. I'm like, in my emails, I get emails back, and they're like, Angelica, Angela, like,
I
and I'm
can't
like,
believe that.
it's written in my email, right? And I never corrected it. I'm just like, okay, whatever. But then I always recognize, and it was something that's really important to me, is I always tell people that your name is everything, right? They can take anything away from you
Yeah.
except for your education, because once you've learned it, it's yours and your name. And your name stands for your work. So when people think, oh, Angel, they're going to have an expectation of my work, whatever it may be, right? But if they know me and they're like, this is Angel Guerra Chigoya, and people are going, oh, Angelina G something. Well, people don't connect that, right? Because that's not my name. And I have two young girls. I have a 23-year-old and a 14-year-old.
Okay.
And my 23-year-old once told me, she's like, Mom, because her name is Heavenly.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
and my youngest daughter is Leilani, and her
Oh, that's
middle name is
pretty.
Anjuli, which means blessings. It's East Indian.
Uh-huh.
But my oldest daughter once said, Mom, it's a cop out when people were like, oh, your name is so hard to pronounce. She's like, that's people can pronounce city names, they can pronounce business names, they can pronounce names from characters on TV shows that don't even exist. It's a respect thing. If they don't respect you enough, they're not going to learn your name.
Woo! The wisdom.
And
Yes.
I never took it like that. So she's like, don't let people call you Angela or Angelina. That's not your name.
Yes.
And I'm looking at my daughter, who I'm thinking, girl, where'd you get so smart?
Right. Right.
Where'd you learn that from?
Absolutely.
But that sat with me, and I learned something that day from my daughter. And I thought, you're right. And so that's why every time I meet somebody, I do have issues with short-term memory. So I may ask more than once, but I'll say,
Right.
how do you pronounce your name?
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure that, and then I actually consciously walk away from people, and I'm like, I repeat it in my name.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
in my head.
In
So
your
I'll
head.
be like, here, like, until I remember that the next time I see you, that's how I pronounce your name. Why? Because it means something to me. I care about you. So I think that that's really important, that people need to consciously make that decision to care about other people.
Yes. Oh my gosh.